Hello, welcome to the third installment of my Batman animated series vlogs I've been doing. This episode's called Nothing to Fear, and it introduces the Scarecrow, obviously, because anything with Batman that has to do with fear will probably be with the Scarecrow. So in this episode, basically the Scarecrow poisons Bruce Wayne slash Batman and makes him afraid of disgracing the family name, because that's his biggest fear, apparently. I mean, in the Nolan films it's bats, but so he's afraid of bringing shame, and then he starts seeing these hallucinations of his father, dead father, who says, I'm disgraced, I'm disgusted with you, son, what you've become, blah, blah, blah. So he has to wrestle with that this whole episode. So it does introduce the Scarecrow, whose appearance does change in a couple episodes later. Here it's more cartoonish, and then later he looks a little bit more realistic. So, I mean, I'm going to go into the backstory about the Scarecrow a little bit. His real name is Jonathan Crane. He was a former, he's a professor of psychology in this series, but he was actually, a psychologist who specializes in fear. So he uses this fear toxin he develops to go and attack people, and they see their biggest fear with this fear toxin. I mean, if you've seen the Batman Begins, you see that scene where, he poisons the mob boss and he just sees the Scarecrow, and it's really creepy. So that's basically the backstory of the Scarecrow. And he's pretty dark villain, actually. I mean, it's really, really creepy. Even if in Arkham Asylum, he was like, probably, those segments were really, really disturbing. Like the first time you run into him in that game, he gives Batman a vision of being in a morgue, well, we actually are in a morgue, and unzipping his two dead parents in body bags, and then the third one is the Scarecrow, and he attacks him, and there's a whole little platforming section there. So yeah, I mean, that was a really, really creepy villain in this episode. I mean, he's a little bit more cartoonish in the series. I mean, still dark, but... And then, of course, Batman goes in, he faces the fear, and he says, my father was proud of me, would be proud of me, and he beats the heck out of the Scarecrow, throws him in Arkham Asylum, and then there we go. And what I liked about this episode was it was pretty mature, I think. I mean, his plot is basically he just wants to scare people so he can steal things, but, I mean, it's just disturbing when you see the Scarecrow on screen in anything. I mean, he was absent in the last Arkham game, but he will be in this third one they're coming out with, and I can't wait to see more of him. We haven't seen, I've been watching through the episodes, I haven't seen too many episodes with him that much, really. I mean, this episode, and there's like one or two others later I've seen so far that has Scarecrow, so which is a shame, because he's one of my favorite villains, next to the Joker, of course. So, that's all I have to say about this episode, really, so, and just stay tuned for our next vlog.